Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show prior to this week's Super League semi-final against the Warrington Wolves at the Totally Wicked Stadium, where one side will progress to Old Trafford for the grand final. Are you suitably excited, Kevin?
I'm more excited that you've managed to do that on the 12th goal. No, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
What do you mean? This is one take.
Yeah.
As you can see, this evening we have got orange t-shirts on. Yes, Castleford are playing on Friday night and we hope they beat Wigan, but it's not just a tribute for them, it's for the Whiston and St Helens Hospitals charity, who last week have launched the St Helens 10k appeal, celebrating 10 years of the new St Helens Hospital being open.
Oh, good.
We couldn't think of a more fitting charity to support. It's a local charity that helps local people, and all of us at some time or another, whether it be ourselves or family members, will use the services of the local trust. So for everyone who's enjoyed watching us throughout the year, we appreciate all your support. If you can spare a couple of pounds or spare a penny or a few pennies, every penny counts towards this appeal because it'll help services for everyone in the town. They're aiming to put some new sky windows into the Lilac Centre for patients undergoing chemotherapy, to allow them to look at like new LED windows, the height of technology. A shiny new waiting area for younger patients, child friendly. A safe space to provide counselling for vulnerable patients. Entertainment systems for younger patients on the rehab ward. And pages to allow patients to go mobile around the hospital while they're waiting for the treatment. So a really worthy appeal, and we're really glad to support it. If you can donate quickly and securely by text. You just have to text WSHC11 followed by £5 or £10 to 70070, or in the Just Giving link, which we will post in the details below.
Yeah.
I easily remember that off the top of my head.
Yeah, very well done. Just point out that the 11 at the end is a 1, then a 1, rather than the word 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll post the links below. If you can donate, your local NHS hospital trust, serving local people, helping all of us, will more than appreciate your support. And we'll wear these orange t-shirts now and again throughout our previews and try and support best we can.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to the semi-final this week. The squad.
Yeah, no surprises with Lomax, Thompson and Wilkin coming back in for Spedding, Costello and Bentley. 3 big guns out, three big guns in, 3 young guns out. I don't think it surprises me, but as we tweeted earlier in the week, pick your 17 from the 19 that we've got out there, because there's arguments for pretty much everybody, isn't there?
Yeah, and we've seen a few fans tweet their teams during the week, and I don't think I've seen the same one twice.
No.
There's arguments for what forwards you play. Does Matty Lees get the nod? The younger man in form? Do you go with the experience of Kyle Amor?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because not only that, we've had people saying that they might drop Theo and play Morgan Knowles as reserve 9 if he's needed. And you can see that because Morgan Knowles hasn't gone badly, but it's, I suppose you look back on the Wigan game where we didn't have Theo on the bench. We suffered an injury where we could reshuffle quickly and put Theo in at standoff and Lomax over to centre. And there's just all different permutations that you could go with. I mean, you've got to go with the people in form, and they'll get the experience by going out and playing them games. I think the one worry that I've seen with people is the fact that Matty Lees has, in his young career, been sent off and sin-binned, and they're wondering like how we'll go with that. But if we will have older heads in with him, you'd imagine John Wilkins going to come straight back into it.
I think of course. That's why I missed last week.
You'd imagine Luke Thompson, you'll have Louis, you'll have Zeb, you'll have Dom Peru, all who have been playing in the NRL, or they've played so many seasons over here. They've all got the experience, so they'll be able to mould, whether it be Lees or Ashworth, they'll be able to mould them and kind of help them through it.
Yeah, my gut feeling is Theo might miss out. I just get the impression that there's a couple of times this year where we've had big games and Justin Holbrook's left him out the side.
Yeah.
Whether that'll be the case tomorrow, I'm not so sure. But I think we can safely say that Wire are going to come to try and spoil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like they did at in the last game at the Totally Wicked Stadium against us, and it nearly came up trumps for them, except for the lovely Danny Richardson drop goal or penalty at the end of the game. I've said that before, haven't I? The penalty at the end of the game. I wouldn't hate that same result again. Maybe a nice little bit comfier.
Yeah, that's it. You hope that we go out and lay a platform early on. I mean, it's a bit obvious, it's all a bit cliche, but put the platform down early on, couple of scores on the board, and then manage the game.
Yeah.
And if they're going to come and try and score, then they've got to try and come out and beat you, and hopefully then it leaves a couple of gaps. Like we saw with when we played over at the Halliwell Jones a couple of weeks ago, when Richardson passed it out to Morgan, and there's a massive gap there for Morgan to go through. It gives it back inside to Richardson and he scores. Just things like that. You hope that we've got a little bit of a platform to start the game off.
Yeah, I think far too many times this season we've dug ourselves into a little bit of a hole early on games. I'd like to see the stats if anybody can be bothered to actually research it, because I'll be honest, I can't. How many games this season we've conceded the first points? It seems early in games we play catch up, and then it's after we've settled into a game 15-20 minutes in, we seem to start looking to put some points on the board.
And if anybody wants to split that into the first and second half of the season, from when we were on like a house on fire to when we started, maybe taking our foot off the gas a little bit. But yeah, do you just think that, how are we going to do that in big games? Are we just going to concede the first try or two, and then you're starting to scrabble back into it? I know Justin Holbrook's mentioned the fact that we've got to be smarter, and they're taking the Catalan semi-final as kind of the yardstick of where not to be, and where they've got to be smarter. And like, we made so many mistakes.
If there's the Catalan semi-final, we need to be over here.
Yeah, we do. Well, obviously, but it's a case of us not trying to get straight back into the game. There's no point trying to score 3 or 4 tries in 5 minutes.
I think we lost. I think they've said we lost our heads massively in that game. If we'd have kept the score tight to half time, we'd have come out second half with a decent chance. But we shot ourselves in the foot, and the game was gone.
And that's where, as I'm saying about the older lads helping the likes of Matty Lees, the older lads have got to realise that they're the ones who've got to settle it down. So you John Wilkin, James Roby, Zeb Tyre, Louis, Johnny Lomax, I mean, 10 years at the club, so he's been around for grand final wins, defeats. He knows what it's all about. So the likes of those players, Ben Barber, Tommy Makinson, have got to turn around to the younger lads in the squad and just calm everything down a little bit.
Now, we're not under any illusions that tomorrow night's game is going to be easy.
No.
Warrington are more than capable of coming to Saints in a semi-final and beating us.
Yeah.
Wyre's problem is cup finals. That's where they struggle. But I think over the years they've got a really good record at the Totally Wicked Stadium. There's even an argument to say that Saints would probably feel more confident playing away tomorrow at Warrington.
Possible.
But we need to make home advantage count. We need to make sure that the ground is full as possible. I know it's tough on a Thursday night, so if you haven't got a ticket and you can possibly get there tomorrow night, don't be holding out for a grand final, because there's no guarantee that we're going to get there. And it'll be your last time to see Ben Barber take to the field at Saints in a Saints shirt. So that's another reason to go to the game tomorrow, and hopefully he'll turn it on and we can all get the result that we want. Yeah,
we've banged on about it all year, that the home semi-final could give us the leg up after last year at Castleford. Year before was at Warrington. Year before Leeds. It's got to give us that advantage, but the only way it's going to be an advantage is if people are on the terraces, in the seating, and shouting the lads on.
Of course. The Warrington side, Tom Lynham comes back in after suspension. He may be a bit rusty, possibly.
Potentially, but I, to be honest, out on the wing, it only needs one chance, doesn't it? And it can be gone. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I know they've got the half-backs back in as well. After I think they missed last time out. So
I think they played 10 or 15 minutes, didn't they? And then they went off injured, and then the game changed completely. So the game at Warrington a couple of weeks ago, where we demolished them, will have no bearing.
Ah, none at all.
And I think we said that whether we win by 40 or lose by 40, will have no bearing on the semi-final tomorrow. Moving on, the Dream Team announced on Monday. I think we got 10 out of 13 correct, and we named the other 3. We talked about Danny Richardson, we talked about Matty Ashurst, and we probably would have had Sean O'Loughlin if he didn't play for Wigan.
Yeah.
So we potentially had 11 of the 13, but we weren't having 2 Wiganers. So happy with that side. Not much to argue about.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we mentioned at weekends, the pros and cons of having the different players in. We went for a bit more of a spread than having Danny Richardson in, and as you say, we mentioned Matty Ashurst and the likes. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Matty Ashurst could have easily got into my team. I went for Dom Peru just because I think he's been an unsung hero there for us.
I think the biggest raps for me were seeing, was it 7 out of 13 of the dream team being homegrown Saints players, if you include Matty Ashurst in that. And that's tremendous. For a town of this size, for our club to contribute more than half of the players to the dream team is, quite frankly, amazing.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Considering you've got the hotbeds of Wigan, Leeds, etc. So massive raps to everybody at the club who deals with the academy. Predictions for tomorrow night then? I'm not giving one for a change.
Are you not?
No. I don't care what happens as long as we win.
Alright, I'll just go with Saints win.
Fingers crossed.
Put my neck on the line.
So tomorrow night, you will either join us for a very, very dismal instant fan reaction or a very joyous one. Either way, it promises to be a nerve-wracking night. So if you can get to the Totally Wicked Stadium, please get there. And I'm not going to bore you by going through the charity spiel like we did at the start of the video. So rewind it, watch it again, but don't forget to support the St Helens 10k appeal for the Whiston and St Helens Hospitals charity if you can. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Watch our Redvee Awards show and the Dream Team show that we posted earlier in the week. And we will see you tomorrow night on Redvee TV.
Can I just say, next time can you source me just a slightly bigger shirt?
Lastly, do you know what? This is just, I'm glad the Trust are supporting our diet attempts for next season.
Definitely.
By this time next season, we are going to look like Adonis's.
Oh, let's not go that far, but I want to fit into this properly.
I'm going to be an Adonis kebab. But yeah, like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow night on Redvee TV.